which is supposed to be. This is WhiteRaven over here. Today's Monday, so happy Magic Monday to all of you guys. Thank you so much for being here today. Today's a special day for many of us. We're going to be experiencing a wonder of nature, which is a solar total eclipse. Really excited. I'm in the path of the eclipse. It's a lot of controversy in the internet over the eclipse. Listen and do whatever it is that you want to do. Nobody needs to know and tell you what to do, what not to do. Do whatever you want. The eclipse. Me, personally, I'm not doing any magic today. I am planning to enjoy it. I'm going to sit on my porch and enjoy the entire time. Which takes me, there's something that I want. It's a conversation that we need to have. If you follow me in my Facebook page, you probably saw my post yesterday about me throwing in the trash can another author, witches. In the beginning of my path, the one thing that used to scare me the most was other people and other witches mocking me, including when I first started this YouTube channel over 10 years ago. The one thing that I was always afraid of was other witches, particularly witches that were more seasoned than me, witches that were popular, famous figures of the witchcraft community. I was so afraid of these people mocking me or telling me that I was doing something wrong. It has taken many years for me to be confident in what I share here with you, and by no means I am a wise teacher. I just like to read a lot, and I like to share with you the things that I learn, and I like to share with you the things that I consider that are really important for you to check out and see if it resonates to you the same way it resonates to me, right? So going back to my fears, that was my biggest fear. You know, I am a woman that have experienced a very abusive relationship in my life, right? I come from a very abusive marriage many years ago. And the way people treat me could trigger those feelings that I have so many years ago. And I'm a fighter, which is, nobody cares, but I am an Aquarius. So I'm an extremely stubborn person. And I also like to always defend the underdog. I do not tolerate bullying. This is why I have this channel here. This is why I share so many hexes and reversal magic here with you, because I truly and firmly believe in defending yourself and speaking out when something does not sound right. And so yesterday I put in my Facebook page that, again, I throw away in the trash can another very popular author. Not because of their books, okay? Not because of their books, but because of the way this person behave towards their followers. Absolutely repulsive. And I'm here to tell you, you don't need to know who this person is. Enough to say that is an author that I have not shared any of their books in here in this channel with you guys. But the whole purpose for me to put that this person was an author was to show you that this person was a figure in the witchcraft community. Let's say an elder, let's say a senior, let's say a leader in our witchcraft community. And to have somebody with such status refer to other people in such patronizing way, it was truly heartbreaking to me. I do not tolerate bullying. I do not tolerate anybody, I don't care who you are, abusing me or abusing others. It is your problem, not my problem. You have issues. So what I'm trying to tell you with this, witches, is if you're new, trust me when I tell you that my biggest fears when I started was other people mocking me. Not only because I was so insecure in what I was learning, because I have always been a solitary witch and I have always trained myself, but also because I was coming from an abusive relationship. Bullying, not tolerated in my eyes. So if this is your particular feeling, if you're new and you are afraid of other people making fun of you because of the way you do things or your beliefs or whatnot, listen, witches, this is your path. You take the time that you need to take to learn. And what I thought and believe maybe 10 years ago, 15 years ago, may not be what I'm thinking now. And I will change the way I see things, but it's my path, it's my learning, and it's going to happen at my own pace, at your own pace, witches. Do not let any witch in this community. I've seen it a lot also. You guys know I don't have TikTok, but I have seen a lot of popular witches in TikTok also abusing their viewers. That's not tolerated. And that is not correct, witches. That is not normal. Nobody. You know what? It is the same thing as having an abusive husband. Abusive people is out there, and sometimes these characters, this behavior is hidden, and here and there is going to come out. That's all I'm going to say about this. No mockery, no gatekeeping, no bullying, no patronizing. That is not normal behavior from anybody towards anybody else. Period. Is done. This is what we work magic. We do spells against these type of things. So honestly, to see this behavior in the witchcraft community, it is, to say the least, repulsive. To me, not tolerated, and I completely condemn this. Now, let's get into the spell that we have for you today. Today we're going to be studying and we're going to be talking about Banishing spell from this amazing book that I have been revisiting lately from the incredible Miss Aida, Hoodoo Justice Magic. This is that book with one of the most beautiful covers that I've seen in a book. I absolutely love this cover in this book, and it's a great book, witches. So let's talk about banishing spells. Banishing spells, witches, are amongst one of my most favorite spells. These spells are very simple, and yet they're extremely efficient. But to successfully perform these spells, witches, you need to know the logic behind it. We need to think about what we're doing, okay? With these spells, the harm that you inflict upon others goes from probably no harm at all to the sky is the limit and whatever you want. One of the most important rules of banishing spells is, of course, to protect you from the harm that other people is inflicting upon you. Some examples of these people are abusers and bullies, evil partners, co-workers at school, evil landlords, evil neighbors. I mean, a lot of you guys are in that predicament with evil landlords, evil neighbors, co-workers. We can also banish envious people, gossipers, snoopers, people that are snooping around, you know, always trying to get into your business. Influencers, and when I say influencers, we're not talking about Instagram influencers. We're talking about people that like to influence other people. Like, for example, a very questionable friend that one of your kids have. That's an influencer to me. People that is jealous, people that is slandering you or others. And of course, again, same an influencer, manipulators, people that like to manipulate others. Just bad. You know, that person that's always in the back of your ear telling you stuff, trying to manipulate you. That kind of people. You can also banish unwanted people, like visitors that you do not want in your house, nasty roommates that are driving you insane, or sometimes you are going through the situation that you have somebody staying in your house, living out of your rent for free, and they just don't want to leave. You know, sometimes you give a little room to somebody that needs help for 2 days, and they extend that stay for a year. So, as somebody that you can also banish with these spells. You can also banish dangerous people, witches, intruders, trespassers, criminals, people that are violating your boundaries, sexual predators at work, because it happens at work a lot, and we're talking about sexual harassment, even at home, family members abusing of other people, and also in school or whenever you feel like you have a predator. Also, witches, you can banish psychic vampires. And psychic vampires are that people that we have around us that whenever we're even in their presence, they drain us, and their soul presence affect you. You have so many psychic vampires out there. They're so heavy around you. Sometimes a lot of coworkers are psychic vampires. They're just heavy. It's like, okay, I don't want to talk to you anymore. Like, talking to you gives me a migraine. Let's just not talk anymore. So you can banish people like that, okay? But banishing spells are not necessarily just to banish people. You can also banish conditions, situations, like, for example, some type of illness, a run of bad luck, a run of no money. So you can also banish things like that. My favorite way of banishing people is by using banishing powder, which is very simple and effective. The method that I use is track magic, which in simple terms means sprinkling banishing powder where your target walks or inside their shoes. And let me tell you something, witches, and this is something that I have said in other videos before. For whatever reason, a lot of people like to take their shoes off and leave them around. I have even seen this at my work, at work. Whenever I see the things that how people expose themselves to other people to do magic to them is really crazy. Please don't take your shoes anywhere, right? And leave them like for other people to see them, because there's a lot of magic that is performed through your shoes. So please be always aware of that. And so banishing powder is relatively easy to make. It's very simple to make, witches. The most important ingredient though for the banishing powder is sulfur, and that's of course in my opinion and based on the most of the recipes that I have encountered out there. To that sulfur, that will be like the base of your banishing powder. And to that sulfur, you can add different ingredients. Like for example, devil's dung, which is also called asafoetida, cayenne pepper, black pepper, chili flakes, gunpowder. I have never really used gunpowder for anything, but many people add gunpowder to banishing powder, salt, Epsom salt, red brick dust, and so many other things. Miss Aida in her book will tell you about many other things that you can add to your banishing powder. And something that I wanted to say, which is, I know sulfur sometimes is hard to find from some of you guys. Sulfur is sold in Amazon, sulfur is sold in Botanicas and many other places. But if you do not want to have sulfur at home, you don't want to deal with sulfur, garlic skin have sulfur. So you can grind garlic skin and add that to your banishing powder. Something new that I learned in Miss Aida's book, this particular book over here, is the use of animals and insect curious. And there's a lot more than what I'm just going to share with you guys, but this is something that is in the book. Again, if you want to learn more, you need to get this book. And I know a lot of you guys have it because I know a lot of you guys love her too. Animal and insects curious you can use in banishing spells. Like for example, ants are great to make people go away. And the way you do this is not by killing ants, witches, and putting them in your spell. It's by you putting the name of the person that you need to get rid of in paper and then crush it and put it inside the ant hole. Especially if they're red ants. Another way is dirt daubers nest to drive enemies away. Dog poop, preferable if it's fresh. The idea of this is that the stench of the poop will make your enemy just run for his life, right? Another thing and another poop that is very popular in banishing spells is pigeon poop. Doesn't have to be fresh, this particular one. Actually, the dog poop you can also use dry, but pigeon poop, if you can scrape some when it's dry, please be very careful when you do these things, which is a lot of these bacteria out there, you know, just take that into consideration. But yeah, now you know, you got ideas on how to do these type of things. And if you see, creating, for example, banishing bottles spell in which you use very stinky ingredients can be a very effective way for you to banish someone. Now, which is, like I said, banishing spells can be very easy and very effective, but they need to be very clear and very precise. In my experience, it's not just you wanting to banish someone, but it's also very important to visualize a reason why this person can leave. And I'm going to give you some examples so you can see what I'm trying to tell you. If you want to banish an evil coworker, you're not only going to sprinkle some banishing powder where this person walks and perhaps in this person's shoes, but you also want to visualize a reason that is completely irresistible for this person to really leave. Like for example, assume that this person received a job offer in another company somewhere else, and it's something that is so beneficial for this particular person that this person will definitely take that other position, which in turns will be leaving you. You know what I'm saying? if you have an abusive husband and you want to banish this evil, abusive husband, visualize another woman coming and taking him away from you. And he's going to be, pardon my French, so pussy whipped that he's not going to care about you at all. And you're going to be able to safely abandon this person. Those are two examples when I say for you to visualize a way in which the other person will leave. Visualize another situation tempting this evil person towards that way. All right. I also want to share with you that in my experience, the closer that I am to the person that I want to banish, the easier it is for me to banish that person. Now, having said that, I don't want to say that if you're not close to the person, your spell is not going to work. I'm just saying that when the person is closer to you, in my experience, I am able to move that person along easier and faster than when the person is more far away from me. So keep that into consideration. If you have somebody that is far away from you, perhaps you need to work that person more constant, okay? Just food for thought. Also, which is if you have more than one person to banish, it is advisable that you banish the worst person first. Or you put all that very strong intention in the worst person yet and not try to do 5 people at the same time, okay? Food for thought. Do one first and then wait a little bit before you do the others. All right, witches, you guys write me lots of emails, messages in my inbox, and sometimes many of you guys move my heart so much. The spell that I have today for you, it is also from Miss Aida's book, and it's dedicated to one of you that wrote me an email and really moved my heart. This spell is for you. But if you're here and you are also in this situation, I really hope from the bottom of my heart that this spell reach you in the correct moment and that can successfully assist you getting rid of an evil person. My viewer that requested this spell is having some serious problem with an evil landlord. And this landlord is not only affecting her life, but the life of many senior citizens, my grandmas and my grandpas. And I love that community. So with all that in mind, witches, let's get into the spell. The name of this spell is Move Out of Town Candle Spell. And these are the things that we're going to need. For this spell, witches, we're going to need a white figural candle of either a man or a woman, whoever it is that you need to banish. In this particular instance, I do not have the candle of a man or a woman, so I'm going to be using a white candle. If this is your predicament as well, because you do not live close to a botanica or whatever your circumstances are, then we are going to be using a white candle, and I'm going to show you how to prepare it. I also like to use candle holders just for safety. So if you have a candle holder, I also suggest a candle holder. I have gloves on, witches, because we're going to be using very spicy things. The next thing that we're going to need is banishing oil. I make my own banishing oil based on the recipe and the suggestion that Miss Aida gave in her book. So over here I have almond oil, vitamin E, and banishing powder. I also added here some candle coloring to make it red. You don't have to do that if you don't want to. Obviously, you're also going to need sun banishing powder, which is, again, if you have little animals around, be very mindful. The ingredients that we're going to be using today for this spell are very irritant. Since this spell is to get somebody away from you, you want to have a map in which you can identify what your target leaves, and it has to be a map big enough for you to move this evildoer to another place. So I'm going to show you what I mean in a second, okay? Miss Aida suggests for you to use a baking sheet. I'm going to use aluminum foil because I use all my baking sheets in my last spell. You're definitely going to need hot food oil. This one we have in my website. And along with that, which is I just prepare hot food powder with some of ingredients that I have in my apothecary. I suggest for you, again, if you want to know more about these ingredients, is in Miss Aida's book. For this spell, which is we're going to need also some candy. Any type of candy that you have at home. All right, you're going to need money. This is not real money, but money. Whenever I send orders in the website, you know I send you money. So there you go. Now you know another reason for you to save the money that I send you. It's not going to be able to buy you anything, but you may use it a lot for magic. Trust me. If you have cigarettes, which is a cigarette the person smoke, if the person likes to drink, then you can put some alcohol, maybe a shot glass with alcohol. All right, so something really gross. Dog poop. I promise you this is not dog poop. I know it looks like it, but it's not. If you have fresh dog poop, you want to have some close by. If it's not fresh, then dry it is, but that's what you want. All right, witches. Let's get into the spell. All right, my beautiful witches, we are going to baptize this candle. Before we do that, we are going to cleanse this candle. We want a clean canvas in order to baptize it. So I'm going to be using my Florida water. This is my own Florida water. I know a lot of you guys want the recipe. I'll be working on that soon, I promise. But you don't have to have my recipe. You can just use your own Florida water. Okay, witches, I have taught you before how to baptize and name a candle. So this is what we are going to do. You're going to look at your candle and you are going to name it. I, WhiteRaven, name you John Doe. And this is going to be, which is the name of the person that you want to banish. And as of this moment, this candle is going to represent you, John Doe. And everything that is done to this candle, it is in turn done to John Doe. Which is breathe on your candle and awaken it. Once you have done that, we are going to inscribe this candle with the name and if you have the birthday of the person. All right, witches, now that this candle has been inscribed with the information of the person, anoint this candle with banishing oil. Witches, please be careful. This is very irritant to the skin. Okay? All right. Gonna put this candle in the candle holder. Grab the map. The map that I have over here is a map of LA area. So what we're going to do, which is we are going to identify with these evildoer lives. So let's say that this person lives here in Orange County. So what we're going to do, you're going to grab the hot food oil and you are going to put a dab in Orange County. All right? Now listen up, witches. Let's say that you want this person to move to Ventura County, far away from you. So in Ventura County, we're going to put the candy. We are going to put the money. We're going to put the cigarette right there. Because the idea is that he's so uncomfortable here where he's living, but over here, he's being really tempted to move here. So that's exactly what you want to do. All right, just rub it in there. Imagine that you are lighting this person's butt on fire. Needs to move away from Orange County to here. Now let's put the candle that represents the person where he lives. Now light your candle, witches. Once you light your candle, witches, state your petition and tell this evil doer you are gone. State your petition, witches, get it out of you and put it into here. And also visualize this evildoer being tempted about all this money and all the goods that are awaiting for him in this other side. Once you state your petition, witches, let the candle burn in here half an hour. After half an hour, witches, you are going to move this candle 2 inches. Let's say 2 inches is in here. And over here, witches, you want to add some hot food powder so this person does not come back. Never look back to this place. And this is also, witches, where you're going to add your dog feces. There you go. Now, witches, you're going to let this candle burn another half an hour. Once that half an hour is completed, we are going to snuff the candle. You're going to repeat this ritual, witches, until the candle reaches its destination. Make sure that every time you move it, you are going to be adding more hot food powder and more dog feces. At the end of this spell, when the candle reaches the destination, you are going to let this candle burn all the way through. You are going to cut the part of the map that is soiled and dirty, and you are going to throw it in a sewer. The cleaner part of your spell, you're going to wrap everything and you are going to bury it, which is, listen up, close to where you want this person to move to. You cut the map, this goes to a sewer, and this is going to go buried somewhere near where you want this person to move to. Which is, from the bottom of my heart, I wish you the best. And that's it, witches. Thank you so very much for being here with me yet another Monday. I wish from the bottom of my heart that this spell reaches you at the right time and assists you with your magical endeavor. And last, witches, do not spread any hate. We need to lead by example. So please, regarding the first time of this video, do not make any assumptions in the comments down below about who am I talking about and whatnot. I will delete your message. Assuming is really bad because you could be assuming the wrong person. All right. So be very conscious when you are writing any type of comments down below. If you have any questions, you can email me at layerofthewitch@yahoo.com. And remember to visit my website, WhiteRaven and witcheslayer.com. Witches, it is always awesome talking to you. Make sure to stay smart. But above all, witches, stay wicked. And watch this video that I'm gonna put here in the screen on how to banish a nasty ex. Stay wicked.